Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago. My name is Anthony Defoe, Deputy Political Leader, as well as your host for Pep Talks in the Morning. Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago. What a beautiful day it is today, and I am up and about, and had a little time trying to roll off the bed there this morning because the snuggle was really, really good. But you got to do what you got to do. We have to get up and we have to bring the information out to you. We have to start working and make it happen. Like, my grandmother used to say, the early bird gets the fattest worm. Yes. And that's what we're trying to accomplish here today. So, I hope everyone has a wonderful day today. Again, for those of you who are up right now, the roads are pretty clear, so you should be getting down the road fairly fast. It's not too bad, and it's not raining or anything, so the weather is pretty nice outside. Today we have a very, very good show planned for you guys, so definitely stick around. So, what is new? What is happening in Trinidad and Tobago? Well, first to begin with, in fact, they were just celebrating President's Day, and this is usually in the U.S., but I just wanted to touch on that just real quick. So our president here in Trinidad and Tobago, role of our president, as well as what does our president, is our president actually functional? Does she have teeth? Our president being Paula Mae Weeks, the Honorable Paula Mae Weeks. Again, she's the first president of Trinidad and first female president, I stand corrected, of Trinidad and Tobago. Which, I take my hat off to that. It is good to see women being in leadership roles. It would be even better, though, to see women be in a leadership role that can actually have more effect, more teeth, as they would say, where they have greater power in decision making and so on. But again, where we are here at the Progressive Empowerment Party, we do believe that the portfolio, if not created in a way that the president actually has some level of real power or real say, then it really does not make sense. But that's a story for another day. We'll probably have a show directly geared towards that, as in the whole fabric of the presidency of Trinidad and Tobago, and when we look at it versus the Prime Minister's portfolio in itself, as well as the other portfolios that public office holders hold. How effective are they as far as those offices, one, and two, the major problem that we usually have from the people that we put into those positions is how effective and responsible are they for those particular portfolios, because again, remember, they are public servants and they are there to serve the people on a whole, and that's just what it is. I'm looking at my my director here. Let me see what's that. What are you putting up? 1.4 million petition. Pension. Oh. Okay. Yes. Well, my director just gave me some insight there. A 1.4 million pension. Really? Is that factual figures? Yeah. That is. Okay. So what are we paying that for? Where's the betterment for us, the people, as a citizenry? Again, we are looking to create an environment here at the PEP on a national level where, again, the portfolios that public servants are holding is ones that actually serve the people, where the people can see an actual benefit and not a benefit. I mean, look, we're doing this decades now, and after coming out of where we were in our history, where our ancestors are concerned, and being fortunate enough to gain our independence and having control basically of our destiny, we as the population, we put these people there who comes to us and say vote for us, or they're brokering for this particular portfolio. We want them to be there to bring a level of betterment to us, the people. But the question is, again, how much betterment have we gotten as a citizenry here in Trinidad and Tobago from our leaders? I mean, we're talking 11 administrations passing through the doors of that parliament. Really, in fact, Let me see if I had a little information here. Right. Where the presidency is concerned, well, the president of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago is the head of state of Trinidad and Tobago and the commander-in-chief of the Trinidad and Tobago Defense Force. So we're looking at the president holding a very vital role in itself, at least being in charge or heading and spearheading our defense force in itself, which really protects the country on a whole from invasion and so on. I mean, that is a very important portfolio, yes. But again, there's so many other areas and things that our president must put in place. Let me see that again there, Director. Right, yes. I like that. I'm just getting little pointers on the outside there, so don't mind me. I might be a little distracted just for a second. But anyway, we just want to get the information directly to you in itself. But, having the discussion here this morning pertaining towards our leaders in government, in all of our public portfolios and so on. We have to hold these people accountable because, again, no one is putting on a suit just jumping into a parliament or, let's say, going into the president's house just like that. And, no, they're there for a reason, a real reason. And we need to be able to understand what are the dynamics to these people being in these positions and how the benefit is supposed to fall into the laps of the citizens. How are we going to benefit by having certain individuals in these positions? It should not be about personality. It should not be about hero worshipping, as they say. We need to identify individuals who we are sure is able and capable of getting the job done. And I mean, these portfolios is no brainers. At the end of the day, they have their systems in which they work. And is a matter of having the individuals in those portfolios being able to actually execute what they're there for, to get the job done, literally, not having to find excuses or blaming past administrations or past people who are holding the portfolio before. We need to look at the issues that we deal with presently and find the solutions in moving forward, not talking about the past or talking about who has done what, when, and so on. No, Trinidad and Tobago, we really, really have to take serious account of the people that we have placed into these positions to simply bring better to us, and that's just what it is. A nice footnote I wanna just throw in there too. Just a few weeks ago, we had a little protest of our own here with the PEP. In fact, with the opening of the Red House, we presented documents to the Prime Minister at the time in question, the cost and the renovations for the President's house, a house that the President is not living in or wanting to really stay in. Again, $89 million is a lot of money. A lot of money for a renovation, really. I think we could have probably built that structure over 2 or 3 times over for that kind of money. But again, we've asked and requested information through the Freedom of Information Act in getting factual information on the cost factors involved for that project. Not just that one, also the cottage, which is also based in the President's compound, as well as the Red House, which is another story all by itself, because this is almost $500 million that was used to refurbish, to renovate the Red House, for crying out loud. And I think we could probably have built the Red House 10 times over with that kind of money. So again, it's just a matter of having a level of accountability. It's accountability, Trinidad and Tobago. We need to understand that level of accountability. And again, I welcome all of our viewers that's checking us out right now on Pep Talks in the morning. Do feel free. You can send messages to me via WhatsApp on 688-4012. I believe we're also going to have a call-in session in a little while. So you guys would be able to actually see and hear what is being said out there by the citizenry. Yes. All right, so I'm now setting up my little system here to see your comments and whatnot. So feel free, you know what I mean. You guys can just make your little comments there, and we'll be able to actually engage you directly, live. So this way, at least, you can get your answers via over the air, on the live. So again, accountability, transparency, responsibility for one's office. Does that sound too hard? Don't you think, Trinidad and Tobago, that this is something that we, the citizens, deserve? Hasn't it gone on for too long, where our people who are in public office that is supposed to seek the benefit of the people simply are not answering questions, they are not being transparent, they are not being responsible for their portfolios? I mean, we know this, we've spoken about this, and it's not now we've started talking about it. Yes, the Progressive Empowerment Party has basically put it on the forefront now, fortunately for Mr. Alexander and the other founders of the Progressive Empowerment Party. I have to take my hat off to them, only because they have created this political vehicle in order to get the information out to the population, and that really is the mission. This is what we want to do. This is how it's supposed to be. The people are supposed to have the information which is necessary for them, again, and I say it all the time, for them to make better decisions. The facts, not the spin factors, or not the propaganda. And there's many instances where we see the state being used against the people, and that simply should not be the case. We need to ensure that the power can come back to the people, where the people can feel safe, feel confident in their government once again. Knowing that you have an entity, or you have individuals within a portfolio there to actually do betterment for you. And that's just this is why we do what we do. It's why we're here. It's why I'm here. Because as a regular citizen, I myself have had major problems in the public sector, whether it be with legal affairs, whether it be with the hospital, whether it be with crime, or even education for that matter. We know the whole place is broken, and is why we go through things with a fine-tooth comb in really trying to realize and understand the environment that we're operating in, and knowing where the problem lies, and presenting real solutions for the population, for the system in itself, to work a whole lot more efficiently, where, again, bottom line, the citizen to benefit the most. That's what we're talking about. So again, President's Day was on Monday, and this is something that the US, it was actually Monday, February 17th. At least that's what they say in the US for their President's Day. So it was just me taking a little chance now to make a little highlight on that whole president portfolio, especially one that we have here in Trinidad and Tobago. Again, do you think to yourself that the presidency and that portfolio in itself is really functional in your mind? Do you understand that portfolio in itself? I mean, it's funny, a lot of people have remembered in the past, people in some cases was not able to really understand the fact of us having a prime minister and a president on the shores of Trinidad and Tobago. But yeah, that's the sort of crazy country we live in. But that's, again, a story for another day. We would want to go in depth and in detail. We have a lot more information happening where that whole entire portfolio is concerned. Again, we are getting information pertaining towards the president's house and whatnot, and the cost factor behind that, thinking that, numbers just simply doesn't add up. So, we want to scrutinize that, and we want to get factual information for you, the public, and for you to actually know the facts for yourself and make decisions for yourself pertaining towards that. Again, it's for us to be in that place in our minds of understanding the environment that we're actually in. So, another issue that's been taking place in Trinidad and Tobago, at least what's being spoken about on the grapevine, and we were supposed to mention this on Monday's show, with the Trinidad passport situation. They had it in social media that Trinidad and Tobago takes the longest for citizens to actually get their passport renewed. And it's a sad thing to see. The industrial giant of the Caribbean is one of the most inefficient countries in the Caribbean, and that says a lot. It says a whole lot, Trinidad and Tobago. We're looking at inefficiencies across the board, but where your passport is concerned, this is legal document. It's an ID of sorts, where you're able to access other parts of the world, go access to other countries, and so on. It is a document, I think, that should be much more efficiently dispensed to the population. You have, in fact, it takes between 6 to 8 months, as far as the longest, in the Caribbean. You have islands that are taking between 3 days to 3 weeks to provide their passport to their citizens. Why are we not that efficient? There was a time, once upon a time, that we, I think, was doing that turnaround for the renewal, I think, in a 2 week period, or within a 2 week period. And this was years ago, a couple decades ago. And now it's gotten so bad that we are waiting months. Where's the efficiency in that? And in order to get it in a much faster period of time, you have to pay, I think it's $500 plus. I'm not 100% sure. I think it's $550 you have to pay in order to get your passport in a much faster time. But what is that? Are we bribing our government to get this job done efficiently for us, having to pay that extra money? Or I mean, if that's the case, why not simply pay the $550 straight off the bat and just get everybody their passport right away? I mean, I don't know. I'm trying to figure this whole scenario, this whole dynamics out. I really don't. I don't know, Trinidad. I mean, come now, man. I can't be the one sounding like a madman here. I mean, I'm pretty sure there are many of you out there in society that can realize for fact that we are living in a very inefficient country, where the public, mechanism is concerned, where the state is concerned. I'm tired going to places like legal affairs and these government offices, and having to basically put aside an entire half a day, if not an entire day, to get certain things done. And the question is why? It's the year 2020. We're supposed to be exceeding where technology is concerned, where transfer of information is concerned, and again, the level of efficiency that we are able to provide to the population. We always say time is money. Most business people, if not all business people, and people who are not business people, know for a fact time is money. What are we doing? Why are we wasting so much time, especially where the public sector is concerned? You go to get your license, that's another whole day affair. Your national ID, that's another whole day affair. It's just across the board. And we are yet still tolerating this. I mean, this goes to show, like, for example, where the banking sector is concerned, when central bank was saying that the old $100 bills were no good, and put the entire nation in a frenzy. What are we doing? The banks were a mess. The lines coming out of the bank, really Trinidad, and we were okay with that before we said stop. Go down to that parliament, made a march, say, listen, you guys in parliament, they go back to the drawing board and present something better to the population as far as a system in which you want to change out the $100 bills. We could have done it a whole lot more efficient than how it was done. And unfortunately, again, we are simply saying okay to all the madness taking place on the ground. We are not willing to just stand together, speak in one voice, pick sense from the nonsense, and simply put it out there into the public space, put it out there to them directly, I should say. What are we doing? Okay, do we have a comment here? All right. Okay, I'm reading a little comment here. What is this? Steve Downer. If you're living in another country, the passport first has to be handled into the High Commissioner here, which will then send it to Trinidad to await the process. You then have to wait for it to come back. But yeah, if it takes X amount of months, then you have to book your travel at least 6 months. Well, yes. Stephen, yes, you're right. But I myself, I resided out abroad before, and having to change my passport, I will tell you, it took me approximately a week to get my passport. And then I did that in New York. This was, I believe, in the late 90s, so that would have been some time ago. So I'm not sure how inefficient, if they are, presently as far as the renewal process abroad, offshore of Trinidad and Tobago, but primarily I'm really highlighting the issue that we're dealing with onshore in Trinidad and Tobago, where everything lies, where the actual state exists. The portfolio of the immigration office is here, head office is here in Trinidad and Tobago, and yet they're saying that Trinidad is the longest wait for the citizens. Why? That's the question. Why? Give me a good enough reason. Why? Why is that so? Right? There was talk that the person in charge of that department, they were going on vacations, or they not vacations, but they simply was not in the office as often as they were supposed to, and work were piling up, and you have other members at different levels having to make complaints and so on. But again, it's alleged, it's what it's been said in the public space. How factual it is, I'm not sure. I would not put my head on the block for it. I would, though, try to get more information pertaining towards that, and to know how much factual information there is behind it, and knowing whether we do have someone who is a leader or someone who is in charge of a particular portfolio, heading a certain department, or administration for that matter, and is not misbehaving, but is basically not doing the job and creating more problems than we really need as a nation, having a system in itself to provide for the people. It makes no sense, It makes no sense. We can do much better, Trinidad and Tobago. At the Progressive Empowerment Party, we are 110% sure you can have 10 times better than what we have dealt with for the last 58 years. That's 11 administrations. You're talking about 11 leaders passing through the parliament, and I said that earlier in the show. And I would always refer it in a way where we are supposed to be 11 times better as a nation. Each administration should be trying to outdo the other, but instead, I guess they realize that the people are passive. We are not vocal. We are not speaking in one voice, and we're very much divided. And it's what's allowing them to basically make rain on the incompetence that they're presenting to us as a citizenry. We just need to wake up and smell the coffee. And again, I take my hat off, and I'm very happy and proud to be a part of the Progressive Empowerment Party. Their policies are second to none. And again, we are here to change Trinidad and Tobago, for things to work for the citizenry. And that is where the bottom line lies. That's what it is. So, again, what else do we have in the news? Well, we were looking at the Lake Asphalt protest that was happening. I think it was my director again. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, all right. Yeah. Getting more information as we go, Yeah. But we were definitely looking at what was happening there with the Lake Asphalt protest. We're very, very concerned as to what's happening down on that end, where that was taking place. Well, I did reach out to the chairman of the union, Rayburn Noble, and what he was saying to us is that the membership, basically the workers, was somewhat satisfied in the presentation that they had placed towards the state or towards the entity in itself, and I guess they will be having dialogue, and they don't want to put any more information into the public space or to have anything else much to say about the matter, at least not right now, until they can get a response, I believe, from the people that well, again, from the state in itself. Now that I would tell you, I read the article pertaining towards that entire ensemble, and this is my personal take on this. Now, the article in itself was indicating, in fact, let me see if I can pull that article up, because I think I had something here. All right. All right. Well, in fact, what was being said is that they threatened the PNM, saying that they are not going to vote for them if they can't have a resolution. Now, again, this is my personal thought on this, because in my mind, and I'm not directly knocking union leaders or people who are heading these bodies that is supposed to be seeking interest for the working man, the working citizen within the public sector and even in the private sector for that matter. But my issue is this. You are saying in the public space that as it is right now, you've come to a point where you had to go to protest. This is a protest. This is because you and your employee body is not happy of the environment that you are operating in. And what's disturbing is that it is not to say it's a first time around situation. These are things we have protests across the board, across the country, within many different areas and sectors of the public sector. And my point is, why have we not had a proper, how should I say this? Why have we not had proper dialogue or proper understanding of the environment that our citizens are operating under? Again, and it all falls back, and there's so many different things that's interconnected in this. Because yes, we want to target the state, we want to target government or the government at hand. In this case, it would be the PNM. And time again, we see how the PNM administration, especially this last 5-year tenure, in my mind, truly have not sought the interests of the population, of the people within public sector. Where pay wages are concerned, whether whatever the plight might be pertaining towards the reasoning behind protesting. The point is that if you're not able to have dialogue initially, because I'm saying that if I am with these guys before protest, you engaged the people who's holding these portfolios basically, whether it be the Minister of Energy, Minister of whoever, or executive or director of wherever. The point again is that why are we not coming to some type of address or understanding as to the plight or the issues of the workers? Why isn't administrations holding those portfolios again that is there to manage and seek interests of the employee base? Why isn't a resolution coming about during regular dialogue? How is this? Okay, we're going to be going into a break in a little bit, but just to close on that, again, the issue is that we keep going to the length and breadth of things, and not realizing that we're just being taken for fools. We're not being listened to really. Our word and our concerns as citizens are not being understood and really taken seriously. I mean, this is a real thing, Trinidad and Tobago, and we can't go down this road much longer at all. We just cannot. But with that said, are we going to be heading into break right now? Yes? All right. So, Trinidad, we will be right back. We're going to be doing a quick break. Do stay tuned.
Antel is Trinidad's most reliable and technically experienced ICT company, providers of quality structured cabling, Cat6 data fiber and power cables. We also stock cabling infrastructure basket-type cable trays for server rooms and data centers. Antel also installs and maintains video security systems including cameras, alarms and electronic entrance locks for businesses and residential properties. Call Antel 674-1406 or 783-9250.
Trinidad and Tobago is in a crisis. For far too long, our people have been abused and silenced by by our politicians and the business elite.
Just look around you. People are losing their jobs. Crime is at an all-time high. Our justice, education, and health systems have failed.
We all know the truth behind all that is wrong in our country. Corruption is destroying us.
Billions of our dollars are being looted by a small group of business people that use our politicians to divide and distract us,
So they can take what they want, leaving us with no hope for a better country.
All of this is because we've never had leaders who seek the interests of the citizenry as their first priority.
I am here because I'm not taking it anymore.
I am here because I am not taking it anymore.
I am fed up of politics as it is in Trinidad and Tobago.
It is time we elect leaders with the backbone and the love of our people to go after the corrupt, evil elements in our country, hell-bent on serving their own pockets while we suffer.
And it is time that we as a nation take a collective stand against wrongdoing.
So we are making a plea to the nation to rally behind us.
because our freedom of speech is being threatened by those who don't want us speaking out on these issues.
A man that I greatly respect is one of those leaders fighting for a better country. His name is Philip Edward Alexander, and he has bravely challenged the people and institutions that are destroying our nation.
To date, he has been threatened with 5 lawsuits for having the courage to ask state agency UDCOT on why the renovations of the President's house cost $89 million.
When experts in the field have estimated that that job should have never crossed 20 million.
Where did the rest of our money go? We refuse to stand by and allow any agency to use our courts to try and silence and punish Philip or any other citizen of our country for trying to seek the truth.
If you're fed up of corruption and want to be a part of real change, support Philip and the Progressive Empowerment Party in this fight.
This fight is not for him or us to bear alone.
It is a fight for you, our loved ones, and our friends.
It is a fight for the future of our country.
You can help by making a contribution to Philip's legal fees and help him and PEP expose the truth and shine light over the darkness of corruption. Go to our website at peptt.com, click on donate, and see all the ways you can pitch in.
There is hope. Our country can be saved, but we all need to stand together. My name is Felicia Holder, Chairman of the Progressive Empowerment Party, and I support Philip Edward Alexander and the PEP.
I support Philip Edward Alexander and the PEP.
I support Philip Edward Alexander and the PEP.
I support.
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 I support Philip Edward Alexander and the PEP.
Welcome back, Trinidad and Tobago, and good morning once again. I just wanted to touch base really quickly because I wanted to finish the point that I was trying to make a little earlier there before the break, pertaining towards the protest. So yes, they were saying that they're not gonna vote for the PNM, and it would be the worst decision that they make. My question is this: do you believe that the People's National Movement is seeking the interests for you? That's my question to you, Right? Lake Asphalt. Do you believe that the administrations that has been seeking proactively your betterment? That you have value in your pocket, you have proper benefits, good working conditions, ensuring a level of longevity in the industry that you're operating in? That's the question for the morning to the protesters. It's just from me to you. Do you believe that administrations in the past, primarily the PNM, is seeking your interests. For you to come out in the public space and say, because right now you're saying that you're voting PNM as is, all right, and I don't know if down in your neck of the woods is any different from anywhere else in Trinidad and Tobago, because I don't know if you have a very efficient working hospital system or healthcare system down there, if you have a working security system as in policing, if you have a working education system, if your sidewalks are on par, if your roads have no potholes, or maybe you even have more value in your pocket than other people in the country. Because why I'm not trying to be mean in any way. I'm just trying to allow for common sense to prevail. Because really, again, what are they doing in seeking the better benefit of the people? That's a question, you know. This is why we are doing all of this, you know. For me, I could be still sleeping right now, cuddle up on my second dream, and that is real for me, you know. But I've taken the opportunity to be here, to be a part of this, to try to usher in real change, to try to highlight the real problems we are dealing with. I am dealing with as a citizen, and I know I'm not the only one. So again, the question is in your minds, you are protesting, which means to say that normal talks did not suffice for you to get to a point here, for you to get to the point of having to be on the road, placards in hand, and openly saying that you are not voting the PNM. It would be their biggest mistake, and you will ensure that they lose their seat in that constituency. I am baffled. I mean, maybe, you know what, but I should not be so critical, because when you look at what the population has had as choices, is why I think we've said in the past, you know, the better of the better of the least evils. Evil is evil, wrong is wrong, and the point is that we need to really identify an entity and individuals who can ensure a level of betterment to the people, an individual and political entity that really would be responsible for the betterment of Trinidad and Tobago and its citizens and its affairs, period. Having a choice of the UNC and PNM, again, it's basically the same coin, different sides. I did not choose the UNC to be a part of them, or to, because I've seen, you know, we've talked about them promising agriculture to be revived in Trinidad and Tobago, and that was mentioned twice under the Pandy administration, under the PP administration, with Kamala. Really, you know, we've had Manning talk about the 2020 vision. We are in 2020 right now. Where are we as a nation? You have Dr. Keith Rowley right now with the present PNM administration, and did they take the baton from Mr. Manning's time and try to fast track the nation towards a first world country, towards the promises that was given to the population at that point in time, something that the population really was looking forward to? I can't tell you how many even foreign nationals who are abroad, who reside abroad, said that if Trinidad were to become a first world nation, they would come back home. It's why they're outside, you know, because we are not first world, and we're getting better hope and opportunity in a first world nation, even being as a second class citizen. I don't know, it does break my heart. It really does break my heart, you know. You have no idea, you know, Trinidad and Tobago. I see how betterment could be so easily presented to the people, boy. It's not to say Dr. Keith Rowley have to dip into his own pocket and pull out $500 million and just blow it on the Red House and call that, well, You know, that's a renovation there for an important structure, you know, something that is historical and for the people. And what is it they said? Pride, national pride, right? National pride you're talking about, eh? I think we can have greater national pride having greater efficiency in how we spend our monies, how we treat with our resources, how we treat with our skill sets, being able to bring greater value on the dollar, being able to create an environment of people being able to feed themselves and live properly, you know, without having to think twice as to how they're spending their money. I mean, there's a lot of dynamics, a lot of dynamics attached to it. But I'm not going to rant on much longer on that. Again, I'm just throwing it out there into the public space. Lake Asphalt, the protests, I am disturbed by it, only because we should not have even gotten that far. Really, we just should not have gotten that far. The institution should have simply, during first level talks, you know, with the workers or whatnot, again, present, listen, understand, fix, really fix. And, you know, a part to play with that as well is how well is the board managing the affairs. That is the next question. How much hemorrhaging is happening in that area? Again, we're going to get more information pertaining towards that whole scenario as the weeks or days go by. But again, I'm not going to dwell on that particular topic. I do want to go into couple other topics as well, but I just want to again welcome everyone for looking at Pep Talks in the morning. Again with me, Anthony Defoe. Just want to let you know, don't forget you can send me any information via WhatsApp 688-4012 or also on the live. You know, feel free, mention what you need to mention. I am going to try to scroll through and see how best you know, I can either answer your questions or have some particular comment towards it. Yeah. Right. So again, morning everyone. So in the news, yesterday I was reading, boy 11 dies after scolding by his mom for watching too much cartoons. Now, that was a little bit disturbing for me, and I will tell you this. Well, it's said that the kid, he ended up going into his room and hanging himself, unfortunately, which is very, very disturbing. I would like to know more dynamics towards that. I find it, I mean, what really happened there? Was this kid in some way mentally stressed? What was going on in the home? Social arm of the state. What are we doing here? What are we doing here? Have anyone visited this home? Had proper investigation? TTPS? Anybody else has anything to say pertaining towards this? I mean, the headline is just there. You know, boy 11 dies after schooling for watching too much cartoons. Yeah. And again, it said that he took his own life. This is 11 years old. What was on this child's mind? One, what was the environment this child was actually living in, and what kind of schooling did he really get? I mean, was it something that was abusive to bring him to such a point? I mean, I'm just asking questions. I'm not, you know, saying anything towards anyone, meaning that I am saying that that's what happened. But really and truly, you know, we have to be very, very aware as to what the heck is going on out here. There's something very disturbing taking place behind closed doors in people's homes, you know, and are we able to identify the mental strain that our population is dealing with? I mean, we are living in a time now where money is very scarce. You can't get work. Even if you do have work, it's, you know, the money just isn't there. The cost of living is just too high. Go to the grocery. In fact, pretty soon I think we're going to be doing a segment on single parents or single mothers and what they have to go through at the grocery in providing food for their home and for their child, for themselves. How are they able to live on minimum wage? What we are wanting to be so proud for, which really and truly is still doesn't make sense, because middle wage cannot even allow a citizen to live properly, because they can't even feed themselves properly where that is concerned. Because really and truly, when you look at it, cost of food, and that's another thing. The show is going to go into such, no matter what you talk about, there are just so many different areas that just dovetail into each other. It's everything is connected. Everything is connected, because again, we're looking at food independence. We were talking about that on the last show, and we're going to have a specific segment. I should say a specific. I just almost bit my tongue off. Look at that. A specific segment. Somebody was telling me that actually yesterday on the Monday show I was talking too fast, and I understand. It was just too much coffee that morning to try to get me up there, so you have to really excuse me. But anyway, the fact is really and truly, I just lost my train of thought there. Where was I? What? Right, yes, this is right. You see what's happening there? I need another dose of coffee. Hey, my pep cup. So if I start bouncing off the walls, just don't get mad at me, right? Just one of those things. But anyway, it's early in the morning, right? Everything interconnects. And when you look at food, man. A lot of the things that we consume as a nation, we can grow right here, but yet we're importing almost 70% of what we consume. What is that? What is that? I mean, just think about that for a second. What can help develop our dollar? And again, to show how everything can be interconnected, you want to gain value on the dollar. You want the dollar to be backing against the US dollar at better numbers. Instead of 7-1 or 6-1, we can be 3 or even 2-1 backing against the US dollar if we were able to acquire greater amounts of foreign currency coming into the shores of Trinidad and Tobago. How do we do that? Export, maybe. Yeah, why not? Export. What do you think of that? Export. We have our cocoa industry right now. Sugar, the price of sugar is going up. We just threw that entire industry away. Again, under the Progressive Empowerment Party, under a Progressive Empowerment Party administration, agriculture is something that we are putting major emphasis on because the goal is to ensure that we can feed ourselves. We are able to bring the cost of food down. Plain and simple. That's the mission at hand. If you want to have your stuff from foreign, whether it be whatever you purchase from foreign, as foreign brands or what have you, it's your prerogative to do so. But you're talking about the larger part of the populations not having the spending power necessary in order for them to feed their families properly. I mean, at the end of the day, this is a big concern, and as government, you have to take special interest towards this because you need to seek the interests of the people, and that's where it's at. If you're middle class or upper class and you want to buy Rocher by the case, and you're spending thousands of dollars on that, and that's your prerogative. But we do not have a population who is in that financial position, who have that level of spending power, and that's the reality of it. When are we going to be aware of this as people who are in position to bring betterment again to the population? And we are talking our administrations of the past and present, which primarily the PNM and the UNC, and I had to pull the UNC in it, even though the UNC is not in government, as to say, they're in opposition. They are to seek again the interests of the people by ensuring the government of the day is not misbehaving in public office. The government of the day is not hemorrhaging the economy. The government of the day is being as efficient as livingly possible. They seek, as opposition, the betterment of the people and watching exactly the steps the government of the day takes on behalf of the people, in the people's names. I can't see how government raising gas 3 and 4 times could be seeking the interests of the people. And talk about gas. Oh, I love this. Listen. there's a situation happening with this whole diesel thing. I have a diesel vehicle, and I wanna come to that. That there is really disturbed about it, because there's a lot of things being thrown around into the public space where this whole diesel this fuel situation is concerned. In fact, Luke Pact says imported fuel. Imported diesel is up to standard. Well, look, here what's going on. I have a diesel vehicle, and just so, after filling up my tank, my car started sputtering. There were a couple of cases where the bloody thing almost didn't even start. I have to now put a treatment in the gasoline in the fuel chamber. What is that? I'm being placed into greater expense, and it's something. This is a brand new vehicle. Why am I having these problems? Why am I having these problems, which I did not have before? And I have several people that I've spoken to who also drives diesel vehicles that's been complaining about the same issue. So, I mean, what is it? What is it? Are we all going crazy? Is it a phenomenon that is taking place on the ground in Trinidad and Tobago where diesel fuel is concerned? I mean, really, really, really. I would hope that we would look a little more deeper into that whole scenario and that whole situation. There was actually a video that I saw as well last night with someone pulling out gasoline from the filter, no less. A filter that was about 2 or 3 weeks old, which was newly placed there. And you should see the condition of the fuel. I mean, what is it? What is it? Really, really, really. I mean, look, Pat. You need to look into this, man. Seriously, because you know, we are being placed under stress, and that's because we're finding ourselves spending more money to maintain our vehicles. Again, lack of efficiency. What we doing, Trinidad? What we doing? Well, again, I am happy to be a part and parcel of the Progressive Empowerment Party. We are here to bring a level of betterment to the people, for you to understand the position and place that you're in, and what possible solutions we can present to the public in fixing the issues we are dealing with. I mean, really, really, really. I don't know. I think there's just so much that we are dealing with as a people, and not even taking serious consideration towards it, because, you know, yesterday I was stuck in traffic for a couple hours actually, and this was on this was going eastbound. I believe there was a little accident, fender bender, just after or before the Quartz Mega Store, and to see the level of traffic and chaos that took place for that period. Again, I was in traffic almost for 2 hours. Efficiency, boy. You know, that's what I keep saying is where's the efficiency? Where are the systems that are supposed to pacify a situation, let's just say? Well, for example, with the same traffic situation yesterday with the accident, you know, why wasn't there a traffic where were the traffic wardens? Wasn't there an emergency response that could have been dispatched, or even with the police that got on site being able to direct or redirect traffic? Or, yeah, I mean, just systematically, man, we have a map of where the roads lie and where the accident may have taken place. How are we able to get systems into other areas just before that accident where you can divert traffic into another area? Again, to bring a level of efficiency to the citizens, because me going to work at that hour, here I am now stuck 2 hours. My boss thinking I lying when I tell him, hey, you know, I sit down in traffic here and it's 2 hours. I run in 2 hours late now. I may possibly lose my job. Why? Again, for non-efficiency, boy. Something that was not even my fault. And again, we're dealing with a environment where, I mean, employers really don't believe their employees, you know, when they come with half the stories they come with. I mean, don't get me wrong, there are employees that really take it overboard and put on the show for whatever reason. Who want to break beach, as they say it. But coming back and being serious here, we simply constantly dealing with a high level of inefficiency, and we're just wondering why are we in the position that we're in. Is because we keep constantly accepting it. We're accepting it, and we know half of the problems that we're faced with, and we know half of the solutions that is needed in order to pacify the problems that we are faced with as a citizenry. A big issue we're dealing with is division. Division. Big issue. Big issue. You know, we spoke about on Monday's show, there was a lot of commentary pertaining towards that Krokro song. What was it? Krokro, we vote, we go in and vote. Again, I ain't saying for all it to listen to it, you know. And really and truly, the lyrical content, alright, it wasn't the worst of the worst, but again, it wasn't the best of the best. That's the best I can really put it. It really is the best that I can put it. I think we have to have a time now where we can actually have lyrical content to bring unity in the country. Highlighting the problems that we are dealing with, yes. But when you start drawing lines or emphasizing on a specific demographic or race, for example, because within the song in itself it was directed towards the Afro Trinbagonian, you know, to Africans as you call it, to the black man, you know, and my question is what with the rest of the country? Why are we insisting to say, well, PNM is for the black man? Because when you sit down and watch the black man in Trinidad and Tobago, look at the black man in Trinidad and Tobago. What again I need to say? How empowered are you? Really? How empowered? I am not racist. I am a mixed person. I have all kind of thing inside of me. You know what I'm telling you? I claim utter racism from my standpoint. Right? They like to call me a potong, because you just have everything. You understand? Head hard. You can just take Alex. You're surviving anything. Well, yeah, that's me right there. But it's worrisome to me because I can't segregate myself or line myself with with a black man or with an Indian or with a Chinese or with a white or with a French or with anybody for that matter, because I'm mixed. But when you have people such as the Afro population or the Indo population or the Chinese population or what have you, and you are identifying people on the ground in Trinidad and Tobago as such, you're drawing lines. You're creating segregation. You're creating division. We, as a people in Trinidad and Tobago, have to identify ourselves as Trinidad and Tobagonians. Trinidad and Tobagonians. Are we close to that time as yet? We are. Wow. All right. Well, you see, when you're having fun, time just flies. Okay, so I think it's is it 7 as yet? Let me see here. Hold on. Wait a minute. We still have a minute, director. Hold on. But back to my point. Just saying, we cannot bring division among ourselves. We must identify as Trinidad and Tobagonians, and we must speak in a singular voice. We must seek the benefit of the whole. What they are experiencing in Glencoe, Valsine, Gulfview, that environment should be something available to the nation. That's how we should live. Every level, in every community, every constituency, for every citizen. Nobody say that everybody need to be billionaires, you know. The point is that at least giving people hope and opportunity, giving people spending power, letting people have money in their pockets, and that's what it is. But I'll stick a pin right there, as Mr. Alexander usually says, and before my director run up and give me a jump kick here, I'm just kidding. But yes, it is time check. It's 7 a.m. in the morning, and this time check was brought to you by HCSTT, that's House Cleaning Services, Trinidad and Tobago. Please check them out on Facebook. And I did not get that number for their contact. 726-8106. Yes, give them a call to have your cleaning needs, office and home, most definitely. So that was our 7 o'clock time check. So we are going on a break right now. So do stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Human rights and civil liberties are the cornerstone of democracy. It is no stretch to say in Trinidad and Tobago, our justice system has challenged that notion. We have people in this country languishing in prison for years, sometimes decades more than they would have been if they had already been convicted of the offense and given the maximum sentence the law allows. They are citizens of this country walking around with the anxiety of charges over their heads, again for years and for decades. We've been told justice delayed is justice denied. The Progressive Empowerment Party advocates for a speedy justice statute that gives the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service, the Director of Public Prosecutions and the courts responsibility for returning human rights and civil liberties to our justice system. We suggest that 24 hours from arrest to charge. We believe that an arrest should not be part of the investigation process and that police should have enough sufficient evidence to warrant the removal of someone's liberty before they arrest them. The Progressive Empowerment Party believes, like most first world countries, that if you have sufficient evidence to deny someone their essential liberty, then you should already be well on your way to proffering a charge. If you cannot charge within 24 hours, you should be made to release. In certain cases where there are extremes, officers of the law should be allowed to apply to judges in chambers for an extension up to 72 hours. Officers that abuse the privilege or who arrest needlessly that never becomes a charge should lose the privilege. Human rights and civil liberties are a cornerstone of our democracy. A speedy justice statute states 24 hours from arrest to charge or release, 6 months from charge to begin prosecution or release, 5 years for criminal matters in court, 3 years for civil matters, or the case collapses. The judges have a responsibility to case manage and not have our cases wandering on aimlessly for years and decades. We need to bring justice back to our justice system. Human rights and civil liberties are cornerstones of a democracy, and the Progressive Empowerment Party advocates for a speedy justice statute that leaves none of our people victimized by a justice system that is blaming incompetence on a backlog as a reason for more incompetence and a backlog. If we cannot arrest and charge based on evidence, do not arrest and charge. If we cannot mount a case within 6 months of the arrest, do not attempt to prosecute. And if we cannot case manage a criminal matter in 5 years, we shouldn't be sitting in judgment of anybody. It is time that this country functioned as a first world nation. It is time that we used our abilities and our knowledge and the assets available to us to create a developed nation out of whatever this is. I am Philip Edward Alexander. This has been 3 minutes to a better TNT.
Oh my God. Hold on. Yeah? All right. Welcome back, Trinidad and Tobago. Again, welcome to Pep Talks in the Morning. My name is Anthony Defoe. Again, your host. So, right about now, we actually have on the phone, we have a call-in from the PRO of the United Prisons Movement, Mr. Rashid Mohammed. Mr. Mohammed, good morning, sir.
Pleasant morning to the nation.
How are you going? How's everything today? I know I'll have you up and about early o'clock this morning. Well, you know, we have to... We have, by God's grace, correct. Well, we wanted to have a little discussion with you today. I know that your entity, the United Prisons Movement, you've had some issues with prisoners in the system and so on, and you would like to have some things highlighted where that is concerned?
Of course, yes.
Yes.
Well, for us, the main...
well, first to begin with, not meaning to cut you off, well, tell me a little bit, or tell the public a little bit about your organization now, when you guys started, and what was the catalyst to bring you guys together, and that sort of, and what's the objective that you have directly?
Alright, well, basically, the United Prison Movement was started somewhere in June, alright, of last year. Right, is an organization that has been or strive to be one of the main catalysts for fairness and justice within the penal system. Right, when we see the atrocities and the injustices that have been committed against our own people, how the authorities they ignore, right, the rights and freedoms, then we realize that something has to be done, right? And since then we have been pioneering for change.
Nice. Go ahead.
Sir?
I said since then you've been pioneering for change.
Yes, of course, right? A lot does take place within the system that people don't seem to realize. There's a wall that keeps being shown over the people to blind them from the real facts, right, of what is really happening, right? I think people all over the world, right, they enjoy certain rights and freedoms, right, and enshrined in their constitution, right, rights and freedoms that are fundamental for the peace and preservation of any nation, right? These rights and freedoms, right, like the freedom to a fair trial, right? We have these enshrined in our constitution, right?
True.
As in section 5, right? Section 5(2) C and E, right? They talk about the Parliament should not deprive, right, anybody who had been arrested or detained, right, of their rights to a fair trial. We're saying that there's no way that somebody could be given a fair trial when it takes 10 and 15 years to be heard,
Very true,
and
very true.
vindicated before the courts, right? We say that this is an atrocity and a breach of human rights, right? And is that disregard for law. If we're talking about fighting crime, we should want to fight crime on all levels, whether it's on top or below. But instead, what we see in taking place is that is as though it's one class of people that is subjected to this, right? And we say that is unfair, right? And we would like to see change.
I like that. That's right there. That right there, let me tell you, we stand with you where that is concerned. I mean, here at the Progressive Empowerment Party, we have several policies that's directly geared towards that same list of issues that you just presented to us, because we know that yes, we are committing human rights atrocities, I would say, to our own citizens, because like you said, you have if you have cases in Romania where if these individuals had pleaded guilty, they would have been home, done, cock up, relaxing in the house already, whereas they're still locked away, still not able to have a final hearing or the case to really be heard, and to have some level of judgment. I mean, it's really, 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 really wrong. Did you were you looking at the show before? Were you looking at the program before we called?
No, I wasn't benefit.
All right. Well, Trinidad and Tobago, for the ones that was looking at the program, because there was like an infomercial during the commercial period where we actually spoke about that. One of the things that the Progressive Empowerment Party want to ensure is, like, for example, for civil cases, we don't want it to go beyond a 3-year period. For criminal cases, we're looking at no longer than a 5-year period. And again, you know, we're looking at having the people who are involved, from the lawyers to the judges, for everybody to have a level of responsibility for the case. Because again, you have to ensure time management as a top priority. Because like you said, you have people that's in jail 10 and 15 years right now and still haven't had a final say on the case.
The thing is, too, we don't understand what it is we do into our society. Right, we practically breaking the back of our society, right, and creating a cycle of enmity and hatred. Right, there's nobody who comes out of the system today without hate for the system and what it has done for them. Right, the majority of times, sometime a man might be after all this amount of time in prison, he exonerated. But at what cost? He might lose his family, he lost his wife, he's divorced, right? His children, you know, things might have happened to them. They were deprived of certain things, right? So it creates enmity and hatred, and we had to break this. We had to break that cycle of violence.
I agree with that 110%, and you touched on some really key pointers there as far as you know, the disturbance that takes place in one's family, you know, and again, your marriage or relationship falling apart, your children now having to even be victims on the outside, because you have, you know, children could be in some cases where, oh, your father is a criminal, and that kind of thing, you know, with teasing and so on. And even putting the family unit in itself under a level of stress, because now the male figure is out of the house. There's no direct male guidance for children, if there is children within that home. And that also puts even greater stress on the mother, having to now take care of however many children as a single parent now, not having much of a support system. I mean, there's just so many different layers to this whole thing. With so many people being affected by it. And again, where the issue lies for the individual who is now arrested, speedy justice. Are they, have they been charged or have they not been charged? You know, what is the dynamics? Because, you know, we've heard several stories of citizens that you know, they claim to be guilty. I mean, innocent, I'm sorry. They claim to be innocent, and again, the investigative powers and the system in itself being able to be efficient to be timely enough to get the vital information to determine what is what pertaining towards whatever citizen. Rashid?
Yes, that is correct.
Yeah. I thought I lost you there for a second.
No.
So what other issues you guys are dealing with on your end that you'd like to have highlighted?
Well, we would like to highlight certain conditions, right? You know, medical care and these kind of thing, basically, right? We have people who, they come out of the system, they relate to us certain things that they have experienced, right? We would like to see these things adjusted, but we're working with the administration, the prison administration. They said that they are committed to work with us, and we're working with them.
All right. We had a show some time back, a couple months ago, where we did have representatives from the prison system. I believe it was the commissioner, if I'm not mistaken, of prisons, as well as a couple of other people as well. And they themselves were saying that, you know, they are lacking some of the tools and funding and some of the key things that they need to be a more efficient arm of state, basically. How true it is, I would say most likely yes, but my other question would be is how responsible are the individuals who are holding particular portfolios? How efficient are they? It's just a deficiency across the board because it's from the top level come all the way down. And who's holding the shitty end of the stick again is the citizen, is the regular citizen on the ground. You know, if you were arrested for whatever reason, again, it should be something that you are to be determined whether you are guilty or not in a timely manner. to really bring a level of distress and disruption to one's life, personal life, family life for that matter, especially if you were wrongly accused or the state found you not guilty. There's a lot of ramifications still involved where that is concerned, simply because you going into prison or going into jail is you being now ejected out of society, basically, because you're now out of the system of normal life, and you have been accused of something to be there. So again, is how fast are we able to determine the rights and wrongs and so on. The conditions of the prison, I know, has been a real hot topic as far as the conditions prisoners are basically living in. And also, in fact, I was just reading up a couple other things here. But go on, is there anything you would like to actually highlight as well? On top of that? Mr. Mohammed, are you there? Oh, I think I lost him. What is this? Alright, that's our efficient telephone service. There's another thing that's super efficient. I can't tell you. I just can't tell you how many it's just everything across the board simply ain't working, simply is not working. One of the initiatives I just wanted to mention of a PEP policy actually, which is policy number 4 on our 21 policy manual, basically.
You have reached the voice.
Alright, like my boy phone. Our policy number 4, from criminals to contributing citizens. And I just want to read this out to you real quick, just to give you an idea as to what this actual policy entails. So it goes from criminals to contributing citizens. Those who run afoul of the law and end up in jail would be given the tools to return to society better equipped than when they entered. Mandatory literacy, therapeutic counseling, and conflict resolution skill, together with opportunities to learn trades and even attain university degrees, would be offered to encourage personal development and provide hope and opportunity away from a life of crime. That is policy number 4 on our 21 policy. In fact, let me pull it out so I just want you to see it, Mr. Mom. I want you to see it, right? 21 policies. Right here. Policy number 4. Sat, are you able to give me a close-up on that? No? Alright. Number 4. If you want, you can go onto PP's page on Facebook and you can find this. Read it. Understand it. If you have questions, ask. Don't be afraid. Because again, this has been placed into the public space for the people to try to have an idea as to what their rights can be, what they are entitled to, what the way it should be. And that's what the reality is. So again, that would be policy number 4. Don't know what is going on with Mr. Mohammed's phone, but apparently he's either out of system or phone dead, or I'm not too sure. But anyway, we're going to give that a read one more time for policy number 4, so you hear it. For those of you who don't actually have our Bible, our PEP Bible, that's what we live by right now. This is what we breathe. This is what we eat. This is what we live. 21 policies at a glance. And hold on, pretty soon we're going to be releasing our manifesto, and that in itself is going to have even deeper, detailed information as to how we do plan to move the country, how we are going to move the country forward and bring betterment to the people. That's where it's at. So I'm going to read that policy one more time for you, which is policy number 4. From criminal to contributing citizen. and the Progressive Empowerment Party proposes to say, those who run afoul of the law and end up in jail would be given the tools to return to society better equipped than when they entered. Mandatory literacy, therapeutic counseling, and conflict resolution skills, together with opportunities to learn trade and even attain university degrees, would be offered to encourage personal development and provide hope and opportunity away from a life of crime. And to sidetrack on that as well, the Progressive Empowerment Party, once getting this into reality, it would also be our responsibility to ensure that we create an environment that can allow for us to find job placements, proper job placements for people coming out of that system. And it's going to work in a way where, again, if you were able to get a doctorate or a master's or a bachelor's for that matter, it's going to take time off of your sentence. And that is primarily towards people who have not committed murders and stuff, major crimes. It would pertain towards the people who have less of a case. Because murderers, it's a whole different ball game for you guys, buddy. I'm gonna say that no, because we're not gonna tolerate this at all. Once you've been proven guilty, that would be a story for another show. Definitely, we would actually touch on that. I'll try to create and get the vital information that you would need it in understanding the dynamics towards people who have committed murder, and what direction that we would want to propose for the likes of them. So again, from criminals to contributing citizens, that's the mission at hand. We just don't want to leave our citizens on the wayside. We don't want to simply have anyone fall between the cracks. We have to be very aware of everyone. We have to take interest in every single citizen. That's the job. Citizen is the employer. And you know what? It's also a no-brainer without having to deal with propaganda and to chain people heads up. Simply doing the right thing for our population, simply actually bringing a level of hope and opportunity to the people, that is the only formula you need in order to ensure longevity of the institution. Let's say the Progressive Empowerment Party. We will have longevity simply because the mission at hand is to fix Trinidad and Tobago. That is the mission at hand. Make sense of the nonsense. And I would see no reason why, if obviously the people is in a much better place 5 years after, what is the reasoning why you would not continue to vote the Progressive Empowerment Party? And we are not asking for you to vote and be PEP till you're dead and all of that ridiculous rhetoric that we've been spewing for the past how many years that we've been voting. I mean, in reality, we need to understand it's about getting the job done, and it's about creating betterment for the citizenry. But bottom line, you ain't going no further, no higher, no lower. That is the bottom line. Simple betterment. Making things work, making it more efficient, not having to talk about any other country outside the world and how efficient or how good things are there. It should be the other way around, where we are a prime example to other countries in the world to show how such a multicultural country with a diverse religion base, with such diversity in itself, period, is able to live in harmony and to bring a way of life that basically no one has had before. We can be that example. We really could, we just simply need to put the right people in place. And that's what it is. So again, let me give Mr. Mohammed here one last try and see if we can connect with him one more time. Our 1 second. Let's see what's happening here. All right. Well, I think we've lost Mr. Mohammed. I'm not sure what's happening on his end. But again, just to give you that information as to Rashid Mohammed, he's the PRO of the United Prisons Movement. And, their whole mission really is to bring light as to what prisoners are dealing with within the system, and how it's making major effect. It's making a major ripple effect, as well as we are committing some atrocities. We are infringing on our human rights. Again, where our prisoners in the prison system is concerned, and being, really, Trinidad, you don't know, you just don't know when you are, this is real, being possibly victimized, finding yourself in jail for whatever reason. Again, the system should be able to work efficiently enough to determine whether you really have reason to be there, if what was what you were accused of, if it's true, and all of this needs to be done in a timely manner. Having to put someone's life in limbo, basically, and allowing everything around them, especially their family structure, to basically fall apart and be under major distress. What are we doing? Where is the social arm? Where are the people who are to be aware of these things? Again, it's a system we have, and there's, from top to bottom, different areas, different portfolios, simply different systems that is there to bring a level of sanity to the citizen. And again, we wanted to highlight somewhat the whole prison system in itself. The policy that you heard on the infomercial just before this segment, I hope you listened to it very carefully, because again, these are the plans that we would like to present to the public under Progressive Empowerment Party administration. So that's where we are right now. Again, what are we doing, Trinidad? What are we doing? Really? What are we doing? Let's see. Are we going to continue going down the road that we're going down? Think about it for a second. Are we? Sorry about that. Are we going to go down the road that we have been going down for the last 57 years? You are now in a place right now, Trinidad and Tobago. You have a choice. You have a real choice. This is not no fly-by-night business. The Progressive Empowerment Party has been around for the last 3 years. It's real. It's real. It's really, really real. We've not been doing this for the last 3 years just for fun. We are in a level of distress. We are very much aware of a lot of issues that we're dealing with here in Trinidad and Tobago, and we do want to bring a lot more light onto it. We want to have solutions to literally fix the problems. All right. Mr. Mohammed?
Yeah.
I was trying to call you back. I didn't know we had a little technical difficulty there.
Yeah, we did.
Well, that's all right. There's no biggie. There's no biggie. You don't have to waste time on that. We know that we living in a mad place.
Yeah.
There's all kind of thing going on.
Yeah, too much noise now.
Yeah.
Some problem with it.
All right. So
we still on the program? Or?
Yeah, we're still on the program. You're live right now, so you can. Okay. What else do you want to have highlight and stuff? In fact, I'll give you a few more minutes, and then you can have your closing comments and whatnot towards it. But you still have time to make some highlights on certain things you want the public to be aware of as to what you guys are really trying to broker for, as in change.
Well, yes, of course, right. We don't want people to think that this is some kind of support. We support in criminal activities. That is one, right? It is our belief that God Almighty, He will not change the condition of our people until they change what is in themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And we had to change the way how we just think, and we intend to approach the situation. Right? If we have a problem with violent crime, right, in our nation, I think we should, the best place to start, right, would be the prison system, because you have an opportunity to first-hand address the situation, right? The approach that we have adopted throughout the years is just to focus on punishment, right, and not much on rehabilitation, right? And I think
I like that point.
that is the problem right there, right? We just think that, right, it's okay, they commit the crime, let we just throw them in there.
Throw away the key.
And throw away the key,
Yeah.
right? And then the problem is that we have a recidivism rate of something like 60 to 70%, right? It means that the majority of people that comes back into the society, they commit the same crime, right? And they're back in. So it means that the system is broken.
Yes.
And if the system is broken, and it makes no sense, we pump all this money, right, into a broken system that cannot really benefit and bring back anything positive back to the society.
I like that.
Trinidad had to think about what we're doing.
Yeah.
Let's think about our future. Let's rebuild the future. And this is why we have committed ourselves to you all, right, in this struggle.
And we greatly appreciate that. And you know, I'm going to read that number 4 policy and our 21 policy policy at a glance, which because I'm not sure if you had heard it before, but I will read it again, because again the public needs to hear and they need to know and need to understand. And you talk about rehabilitating you know, people going through the system in itself. And again, what our 4th policy says: from criminals to contributing citizens. Those who run afoul of the law and end up in jail would be given the tools to return to society better equipped than when they entered. Mandatory literacy, therapeutic counseling, and conflict resolution skills, together with opportunities to learn trades and even attain university degrees, would be offered to encourage personal development and provide hope and opportunity away from a life of crime. This is just one segment addressing that whole sector of what we're dealing with, where the prisons are concerned, prisoners in itself, and how the system is operating in that sense. You know, and again, we insist that, you know, we would like to ensure that for civil cases that it does not go on beyond 3 years. And it's not even to say that we're looking at a simple 3-year threshold, and judges have, I could cock back and 3 years and we could deal with it then. No. We want it to be dealt with as soon as livingly possible. The point of the matter of the 3-year threshold is simply to ensure that the judge and the players involved have repercussions in the event that we cannot have a case coming to pass at that point. Same thing for criminal cases, for that not to go beyond a 5-year period. You know, we have cases right now, criminal cases going on for the last 15, nearly 20 years. Yes or no? Mr. Mohammed, you there?
Of course, yes, of
yes,
course.
right. Yeah. So, and all of these things are things that we would...
I think it's 21, Miss Rosemary Antoine, I think she pointed that out, right, sometime in the seminar that she had, right, with the American International Human Rights.
Right.
Right.
All right.
Conference that it had, yeah.
All right. Well, time is going on us. So, give me a closing comments. Talk to the population. Tell them what's on your mind and what you would like to say. And I extend great thanks to you for giving us the call in. I know that we were supposed to have you on the show itself, but I know time constraints and certain situations didn't allow it for us today. But I am still honored, and I thank you very much for giving us the opportunity to be able to talk to you, for the nation to really hear your guys and your plight and what it is you're trying to do as well. And maybe this can also drum up even more support on your end, because a lot more people would now be aware as to what our citizens are dealing with within the system in itself. But closing comments.
Well, what we would like to see is that the people lobby behind the United Prison Movement and by extension the PEP, right, in this. We had to try and make a difference. We had to try and bring back TNT, right? We had to try and regain the love and respect for law and order, right? And let me try and make a difference.
Well said, brother. Well said, well said, well said.
Right,
Again,
I thank you for your time.
no, I have to extend great thanks to you, because again, we are not able to do this by ourselves, and we are not willing to shove anything down anybody's throat. We believe that everybody have a voice, and we can listen to the people, understand where they want to go, how they want to go, and is for us to come up with a game plan and a solution in order to get them where they want to go. And that's just what it is. So again, Mr. Mohammed, I thank you very, very much for the support that you have given the Progressive Empowerment Party. And my word, we are not going to let you down. Giving us the opportunity to speak on your behalf and to be in that parliament, to have office, to work on your behalf. Yes, we thank you for your support. So again, Mr. Mohammed, thanks again. We will most likely have discussion in the future on another show as well. So look out for that.
No problem.
All right, you have a good one.
Same here, sir.
All right, so Trinidad and Tobago. I believe we are going on a break right now. Yes. Yes. Okay, so hold on. We're going on a break right now, so we'll be right back.
Hey, there we go. What is? Check it out. 9 o'clock in the morning. 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 9 o'clock on the dot. And you can't reach the work. Why? There's a flood on the road. 9 o'clock on the dot. You're in the same spot. Why? Organized crime. This organized crime. Everywhere you turn. Crime and more crime. White collar crime. Blue collar crime. No collar crime. We running out of time. No food in the pot. Why? Follow the main road. Follow the main road. 9 o'clock in the day. You can't see your way. Why? Traffic on the highway. Traffic on the highway. 9 o'clock on the dot. No food in the pot. Bills. Bills. Bills and more bills. 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 Bills and more bills. $3 trillion spent, nothing to show. That's how it go in a land named Trinidad. Check this. Nothing to work, nothing to work, nothing, 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 nothing. Public health fail, public works fail, local government fail, central government fail. Nothing to work, nothing to work, nothing, nothing, nothing to work, nothing to work, nothing to work, nothing, nothing, nothing to work. 57 years, tears, tears, tears. 57 years, prayers, prayers, prayers. Nothing to work.
And we are back, Trinidad and Tobago. Again, welcome to Pep Talks in the Morning. And my name is Anthony Defoe, your host for today. And we are actually going to be opening up the lines right now. So you can give us a call on 347-4737 or 688-4012. We're doing live calls right now. You can call in. You can ask whatever questions that you have, any concerns, what you might want to understand a little more, or just call and give us some information on what's happening in your area, your constituency, issues that you might be dealing with. Feel free, let us know. We need to be in touch with the people on the ground and have a clear idea as to what it is that you're dealing with. So again, the forum is open for you. That number again is 347-4737. You can also reach me on 688-4012. On the 688 number 4012, you even after the show, you can always send me messages or via WhatsApp and basically let me know what's happening in your area. We may in some cases actually come down and investigate or really see what is happening there, in bringing a greater highlight towards it in the public space as to what it is you guys may be dealing with in your area or constituency. So again, keep that number 688-4012. That's my direct line where you can send me messages via WhatsApp. So this way I would be able to engage with you there and make arrangements as far as if we need to come down and actually eyeball what's happening and do a live there on location or what have you. So feel free, but please give us a call 347-4737 or 688-4012. So yeah, it's been a great day today. Seeing lines of hope and possible opportunity coming our way. Again, it's all up to the people to be able to make that a reality. You have the political vehicle right now to make it a reality, and this is not no pie in the sky business. This is real. The 3 years we've been putting out our blood, sweat and tears is real. It's very, very real, and it's being done by regular citizens who really have the passion to see a better Trinidad and Tobago. For those of us who were fortunate to be abroad and see how first world countries work, Trinidad can be that. And in fact, we know it could be better than that. We're in the Caribbean, for crying out loud. We're a Caribbean island surrounded by water, beaches, sand, sun, great food, great people. We just need to change the mentality where we are right now. We're under too much stress, and that's only because the population at hand is stressed, frustrated, nothing working, sitting down in traffic 2 and 3 hours when the day come to go and to and fro from work. Health system ain't working. I mean, we go through the list over and over and over, and we can't say it's okay anymore, Trinidad and Tobago. Even though you may not have it directly affecting you in your face right through. I mean, still, man. Really, still. You have to. You're not blind. You're not blind. You know that we have lots of issues we're dealing with in Trinidad and Tobago as citizens. We can't turn a blind eye. We can't just be like, red and ready, yellow and steady. No. They announced a couple seats for candidates for the next general election. What have these candidates present to the public space? What? From any one of these parties, for that matter. How are their systems actually going to work? How are you, the citizen, going to benefit directly from it? How? We spoke about a particular policy today, our policy number 4, from criminal to contributing citizen. We have, again, this is at a glance, it's not in fine-tuned detail, but you can have that information, fine-tuned, detailed information as to how the policies actually work, how you as the beneficiary is really going to benefit from this as a citizen. And it's not going to take no 20 and 30 years to do. It's not. We can turn the country around in very short time. factual information. It's not rocket science to run this country. It's a dot on the map. It's a dot. Simple thing. Water. 24/7 water, 365 days a year. That is our goal. That is something that has to be a reality. Not in 2020. You telling me that we still have people talking about the Wassa, talking about drought. You can't get water in your pipe for certain hours or days of the week and all of this sort of madness. Our country is surrounded by water. Boy, serious? Really? Really? Trinidad and Tobago. No, man, we can't. We have to pick sense from nonsense, man. We have to pick sense from nonsense. And you could say what you want. All these sycophants and trolls and you know, the people who simply drinking the juice for too long. You know, you want to run against PEP. You want to say, you know, we are not anything. We are everything for the people of Trinidad and Tobago at this point. Because we are the only institution right now within the political environment that is truly trying to give the population real solutions that work. Not no Mickey Mouse business, nothing vague to say, well, all right, yeah, well, like Auntie Cams had to say, put us in office and we will give you 50,000 jobs. How are you giving the people 50,000 jobs? What's your plan towards that? How are you putting 50,000 jobs on the ground in Trinidad and Tobago? Explain to us. Don't just come on a podium and say, well, yes, we're going to bring back, give you 50,000 jobs, vote for us. It's the same thing you did with Carney and the farmers. Same thing. You came on the podium. Yes, we're going to revive the agriculture sector. Yes, we're going to make ourselves food independent and all of this and bring the price down on food and whatnot. But really, what did we do? We had a few stunts in you know, your tenure of the 5 years with the People's Partnership. You know, there was so much bacchanal taking place still in the midst of everything. You know, if you were there to do the job, why are we still dealing with bacchanal? Why are we having to go through any type of corruption or hemorrhaging of the economy? Why? And then now still have to have the people turn around and say we had to vote for the better, the worse evils. That's insanity right there. I'm telling you, it's total insanity. We can't do this anymore, Trinidad and Tobago. We have to wake up and really smell the coffee. The time is getting worse. It's getting harder. And we are losing our resources by the day. By the day. We are at a point right now in our history here in Trinidad and Tobago that we do have a chance now, this election. The citizenry of Trinidad and Tobago have a chance to bring real change, to usher in real betterment for you, your family, and the generations down the road to come. It is real. It is real. I don't see UNC doing that, you know. I don't see UNC presenting that to you. What's their slogan, boy? We're going to work again or some kind of thing, or get the country working again. Really get the country working again. So when you were there under the PP administration, why we wasn't working again? Why our dollar didn't have greater value? Why a lot of things that we say that we were going to have, we did not have? Why? That's a question, Trinidad and Tobago. It's not about the better of the worst evils. It's simply really identifying who is able to really bring betterment to you. And as it stands right now, hands down. And I'm not just saying this because I'm a part of the Progressive Empowerment Party. I'm saying it because it's factual. 21 policies to change Trinidad and Tobago for the better. That's where we are. It's very, very real, Trinidad. Forget about skin color. Forget about hair texture. You know, we started the show with the protests with Lake Asphalt, that whole situation that took place there, and you know what they were saying, that the PNM is going to regret the next general election. Why even say that? Why even say that? Because you're saying that even though you're getting licks right now from the said PNM, that not wanting to listen to it, I had to force you to come to a point to protest, for you to rally the workers and rally the people to protest. Come now, man, that right there is a sign. It's a sign that they don't want to listen. It's a sign that they don't really want to do for you. It's just about putting on a show pacifying you for the moment, hush your mouth, and just move on with the same BS. We need change. Trinidad and Tobago, boy. We need change. Real change. Real change. One that works for you. One that can be proven to work for you. It's the reality of where we are, man. We are losing too much. And we're supposed to be a whole lot greater than we are. We will give you the level of diversity that they all say that we can't have. We can have it. We can shift completely away from oil and gas. You can look at renewable energies. There are so many different industries. One of my favorite in recent time is cannabis. Cannabis. Am I saying this right? I've been corrected, but no, yes. Cannabis it's $1 billion industry, and we have had the AG decriminalize without a real plan for that decriminalization. How is the state making money from this? How is it going to tax it? How are we supplying? How are we distributing? How are we doing anything where the industry in itself is concerned? And that, what I just mentioned, was simply recreational use. We have not even touched on the medicinal application or even the industrial application, which can change the landscape of this country unbelievably. Really, really, really. It can. What are we waiting for? The Progressive Empowerment Party. We're here. We're going to bring that change for you. What time do we have? Are we? We're coming close to the end of the show. Boo-hoo, boo-hoo. It was a very good morning. I had a lot of fun today. Although I was not bouncing off the walls as I did before. I feel good. I think we got a lot of information out into the public space. I hope you guys were able to really assimilate and take in that information, and you understood that information. In fact, I'm wondering. Wait a minute, I think I missed a call. I greatly apologize. I actually was not seeing what was happening here. We had a call in 347-4737. I'll give you one more chance to give a call. It was my mistake. The phone was on silent and we did not even hear anything. Was that? Call back, yeah. Alright, yeah. In fact, you know what? Use my phone. 688-4012 if you want to just touch base with me real quick before we call it a day. Yeah? Nah. Hold on. But yeah, Trinidad and Tobago, this is being done for you. The time is coming close. Progressive Empowerment Party is here, and we are here ready and willing to serve you. You've heard this before. I know. I've heard it before too. But why I'm here as a regular citizen is because I wanted to know it was true. It is true. And it is. It is true. What the Progressive Empowerment Party is brokering for, what we're trying to do, is very, very true. And I'm really, really excited. I'm very, very excited for this coming general election. I'm excited to be on the ground. In fact, hold on. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning. I've been trying to get into the program.
Yes. You now get through here. I apologize. We had a little technical difficulty here with the phone banks that we've had here. So talk to me. What's going on? You're live on Pep Talks in the morning.
Oh, who am I speaking to, Anthony?
Anthony, yes.
Yes. Good morning, Anthony.
How are you going, sir?
I know I'm fine. Could be a lot better. I know it's becoming close to the end of your program, but I had a question that maybe I've been asking a lot of people of late, and nobody seems to be able to answer this. Probably to do some research and enlighten the public of how it works.
Yeah, let me hear.
For years, we have been having Water Fed, Fire Fed, Army Fed for Carnival.
Mm-hmm.
And these are all public entities funded by public funds. A lot of these feds are held on public privately owned properties, who does the proceeds of these feds goes to?
Very good question. Very good question.
The defense force is under the command of the president of Trinidad and Tobago.
Yes.
The president of Trinidad and Tobago is the only one who could mobilize the army.
Mm-hmm.
With all the assets and resources used in army fed by soldiers, is that authorized by our president?
Liking that. I liking that. I am liking that. I don't want to just talk off the cuff. I actually want to get direct information pertaining towards that. So certainly, I would probably try to see if I can touch on that, get the information, and represent it on a future show, possibly on Monday or next week, Wednesday, if possible. So look out for that. Certainly, I'll make a footnote of that.
Nobody seems to have the answer to that question. I've been asking people, nobody knows.
Yeah. And there's probably a really good reason as to why nobody knows it. Because money going some way. Because this cash money you're talking about, there's an event. So it's not even to say you're able to really, if you understand what I'm saying, it's cash at the door.
And there's no accountability for those funds.
Exactly. You don't have direct accountability. They would say they have accountability.
It has been going on for years.
Correct. Yeah, absolutely correct. Well, I thank you so much for that input, and like I said, I'm going to make a footnote on that, and I most likely will try to see if I can be in that way in the carnival season too, with all these fetes and all this bacchanal taking place. That's it's a good question to try to get more information on and to present back into the public space, because I personally would like to know. I like that. I like that very, very much. So again, thank you so much.
Thanks again, and have a nice day.
No problem, man. All right, so Trinidad and Tobago. My gosh, I have another call coming in. Can I take it? Yeah. Hello, morning.
Yes, hi, morning, sir. How are you going?
I'm all right. Welcome to Pep Talks in the morning. What's going on?
Yes, I am fine.
Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Belmont.
Belmont in Port of Spain. Lovely. Talk to me.
I like the work all you're doing. All you have a lot of support of the youth that are eligible to vote right now.
Mm-hmm.
So I know all you're going to make a difference come this election. Our next point I have to raise is that when a budget is called, and the next year the government calling a budget, they don't tell you what went on with the last budget, how much money was spent, how much extra money they put into it, money that they allocated for projects that didn't get off the ground, what they did do with that money that they allocate for that project.
Yes. Tell them. I'm loving it. I'm loving that.
Accountability on the previous budget before you read the next budget.
Correct. And we stand by that. We believe in that as well. I mean, again, under our PEP administration, we are dissecting that in itself for the people to understand where money is being spent. I mean, it's about accountability, and it's why they try to be so vague about that and not give too much information to the public where other monies were spent from previous budgets, especially one that was there before, the one that is being said presently.
And projects that all you allocated money for that didn't get off the ground, what happened with that millions of dollars all you allocate for projects that didn't get off the ground?
Mm-hmm. Very good question. I love it. Anyway.
All you work cut out, but all you the support of the people.
Yes.
It's not about race, it's about a better country.
It is about a better country, and I thank you so much for that support. And again, just spread the word, is to let the people, it's for common sense to prevail. We don't want to force. We ain't trying to force nothing down nobody's throat. It's just a matter of bringing proper policies, showing proper ways in making sense from all the nonsense, and it's up to the people to make the choice of change. It's really up to the people, you know.
Correct. Trinidad and Tobagonians not supposed to be going through what we're going through now for the resources we have.
Correct.
It's not supposed to happen. No day, no way.
Yes, you're absolutely correct.
People, Barbados money higher than us.
You're right. You're right about that.
They don't have ammonia, methanol, neither pitch. Just offer alone. And as Philip does say, if they don't have a Nylon pool, they don't have a marine coral, and they don't have a rainforest. So
True,
what
true.
is it that Barbados doing? That their money worth more than us.
Exactly, and you know what? We would have we would address that. We would actually have a little segment on that, possibly on the Monday show. So look out for that, most definitely. I thank you very much for giving me the call this morning.
No problem, and all you have my full support.
Thanks again, brother.
Take care.
You too. Bye. All right, so that was our citizens. That's our people on the ground, and I'm sorry that I was not able to get more calls from you. Great apologies towards that. Again, a little technical difficulty this morning, but for sure, it's about that time. We just ran out of time. Boo-hoo, boo-hoo, I want to cry, and I still know that we have a few more things that we could be touching on right now, but you know what? We'll push that to a further show, if not on Friday, possibly on next Monday. So look out for that. So, with that said, I have to say, Trinidad and Tobago, thank you for watching, and to my guests and Mr. who called in actually, Mr. Rashid Mohammed from the United Prisons movement. Much love, much thanks for being a part of the show and putting the information out there, as well as giving the support towards the Progressive Empowerment Party as well. I will say, Trinidad and Tobago, thank you so much for taking in and tuning in to Pep Talks in the Morning. And again, my name is Anthony Defoe, Deputy Political Leader of the Progressive Empowerment Party and your host for today. And tomorrow, look out for, I believe it's Felicia Holder is going to be on air. Yes? Yes. So look out for that tomorrow morning. And I will be back on air with Felicia, actually, co-hosting with her on the Friday show. So, Trinidad and Tobago, thank you very much. Save TNT. Vote PEP.
Trinidad and Tobago is in a crisis. For far too long, our people have been abused and silenced by our politicians and the business elite.
Just look around you. People are losing their jobs. Crime is at an all-time high. Our justice, education, and health systems have failed.
We all know the truth behind all that is wrong in our country. Corruption is destroying us.
Billions of our dollars are being looted by a small group of business people that use our politicians to divide and distract us,
so they can take what they want, leaving us with no hope for a better country.
All of this is because we've never had leaders who seek the interests of the citizenry as their first priority.
I am here because I'm not taking it anymore.
I am here because I am not taking it anymore.
I am fed up of politics as it is in Trinidad and Tobago.
It is time we elect leaders with the backbone and the love of our people to go after the corrupt, evil elements in our country, hell-bent on serving their own pockets while we suffer.
And it is time that we as a nation take a collective stand against wrongdoing.
So we are making a plea to the nation to rally behind us.
Because our freedom of speech is being threatened by those who don't want us speaking out on these issues.
A man that I greatly respect is one of those leaders fighting for a better country. His name is Philip Edward Alexander, and he has bravely challenged the people and institutions that are destroying our nation.
To date, he has been threatened with 5 lawsuits for having the courage to ask state agency UDCOT on why the renovations of the President's house cost $89 million.
When experts in the field have estimated that that job should have never crossed 20 million.
Where did the rest of our money go? We refuse to stand by and allow any agency to use our courts to try and silence and punish Philip or any other citizen of our country for trying to seek the truth.
If you're fed up of corruption and want to be a part of real change, support Philip and the Progressive Empowerment Party in this fight.
This fight is not for him or us to bear alone.
It is a fight for you, our loved ones, and our friends.
It is a fight for the future of our country.
You can help by making a contribution to Philip's legal fees and help him and PEP expose the truth and shine light over the darkness of corruption.
Go to our website at peptt.com, click on donate and see all the ways you can pitch in.
There is hope. Our country can be saved, but we all need to stand together. My name is Felicia Holder, chairman of the Progressive Empowerment Party, and I support Philip Edward Alexander and the PEP.
I support Philip Edward Alexander and the PEP.
I support Philip Edward Alexander and the PEP.
I support.
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 I support Philip Edward Alexander and the PEP.